Hello, how's it going? Have you been waiting very long?
No.
Okay, good. No. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh. Russ, hello.
Sierra.
We just finished our tour of Thirst Mill Creek.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I love your guys' story.
It's
just so fun to see. Not very many people ever get to dive into a company or a business and say, how did it work for you? Or how did you do it?
That's what I love about
a lot of people drive by and like, oh, that's a business.
Yes.
They just made it. They snap their fingers and they're there and they make millions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
They don't see the years of struggle and pain and toil.
Yeah,
but that's fun.
For me, the gray hair.
Oh my gosh, I have so many more, Russ. Like I was at my I have a barber and a hairstylist now, and she has to bring it up every time. She's like, "There's more." I'm like, "I know."
I know.
They weren't here.
I opened up another store
8 years ago. They weren't here 8 years ago. Well, I'm so happy to have you back. We just did our tour. I'm going to do the official intro to the podcast in just a second, but I brought you some goodies from Dottie's.
That's so awesome.
So we start off with a drink. He started off with a Bluebell from Thirst, which is Mountain Dew, Blue Curacao.
Wait, let's just say I feel like I'm in Hawaii drinking this thing.
Coconut cream. It's tropical.
Yeah,
I did
it so tropical.
I did an April O'Neil, which is Mountain Dew. You inspired me. I did Mountain Dew, pomegranate, and fresh lime. Super refreshing, very summery. Yeah. So we got that. But I brought treats from you. Let me grab them real quick.
All right. Look, I am so spoiled.
All right. So I brought you some breakfast ones.
All right.
So if you want to open them up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so the box is labeled, but this is like sausage, egg, cheese, cream cheese, bacon, jalapeno, ham cheddars. We got some traditional kolaches here. Now, have you had, when you were in Texas, did you have the traditional kolaches? Like these are actual kolaches here.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are probably more common right here with the food inside. And I spent in a previous life, 12 years of my career flying to Texas about 2 weeks to 3 weeks out of the month.
Oh, okay.
And every time I was there, they'd all think, "Oh, you don't know what these are. We're going to buy these for you."
You're new.
Yeah, you're new.
Every single
yeah, you're new. So guess what you get? And so it became a tradition that you eat lots of barbecue, for lunch or dinner. And
were you in Houston or Austin or
all of them?
All of them.
Yeah.
All Texas.
Yeah,
okay.
all of Texas. Yeah,
I love Austin.
I probably spent the most of my time in Houston, but Austin is the prettiest of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, Houston's a melting pot, but Austin's got the rolling hills, the green. You don't think of what Texas is, and Austin's called the hill country.
Okay, yeah.
So it's beautiful there.
Well, these ones, if you warm these up like 15 seconds, they'll be great.
Oh, yeah.
There's those.
I can't wait.
Perfect.
I don't want to stuff my face with these right now.
We'll set them aside.
I won't talk.
It'll be all over the.
You'll just hear me. Oh.
And then before we dive in, I'm going to just make sure this is still going. Yeah. Okay. And then, so I'm excited because you have something for me too, right?
I do.
Yes. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Can we do that now? Could you bring it over
let's
now?
Do it.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting. I saw a sneak peek on your Instagram, and I tried not to look. I'm keeping my eyes closed. Tell me when I can open them.
All right, you can open up.
Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, the LEDs.
So it's got full LEDs in it.
I'll hold this for you.
Yep, full LEDs in it. So you can change the color to anything you like. So we've got the green, the blue.
Oh my gosh. I have to show Ethan. He's going to lose it. He's going to be so jealous. Oh. I wish it was dark right now, but this is so great. Let me see this. Oh my gosh.
It's not dark enough in here, but
Russ, it looks so good.
Yeah, Make a Dent podcast. Those that need to start watching, listening to the podcast here.
I like the silver trucks too. Oh, I really like the silver trucks on it.
Yeah, they turned out great.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Let's show it. I'm going to show some B-roll of it in a second. I cannot wait. It's gonna mainly go on the wall. I'm gonna be honest, but I will probably ride it a couple times.
I think you have to do both.
I love it, Russ. Thank you so much. And these wheels are crazy. What are the wheels?
Yeah, these are called shark wheels. They're made for cruising over little rocks, pebbles, little bumpy road.
I am
It'll take
giddy right now,
yeah,
you guys.
it'll just make it a little bit smoother and faster ride.
Well, I brought in the other board too. I'm going to put them both behind us for the podcast.
Want me to go grab it?
Yeah, if you'll go grab it, we'll set up. We might have to go on a little ride before you leave. Guys, I'm so excited. This is bonkers. For those on the podcast, I'm going to describe it to you. Okay, it's clear. It has the Make a Dent logo. You'll see the logo on my Instagram. Pink shark wheels, and then they put LEDs around it. It is insane, and I am in love with it. Oh my gosh, Russ, thank you. This is crazy. When we were talking about having this made, we wanted something that's going to hang in the background of our official podcast room when it gets made, and this is going to be there.
I love it.
This is going to be on the wall forever for the Make It podcast.
Well, there we go. We're bringing gifts to each other.
Oh my gosh, we're such good friends. Look at us. Look how courteous we are. All right, well, let's dive into this. So, first off, Russ, welcome back to the Make a Dent podcast. Thank you for doing a round 2. Our first one, I was so excited, but we knew that we had to do a round 2 because we were a little bit limited on time.
And I think we're right in the middle of it, too.
Oh my gosh, we were right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So I took some notes, and I had my buddy Chris take some notes. He's the one that's been communicating with you a little bit. So let's dive into it. For those who are just tuning in, this is Russ Warner of Ghost Longboard.
Part 2.
Part 2. You guys have been around for how many years now officially?
Officially about 4 years.
Officially 4 years. I'm giving them a little bit of background. If you're just tuning in, they make amazing clear longboards. They are clear. You've never seen anything like them. Check them out at Ghost Longboard on Graham.
Yep.
On any of the socials probably.
Yep.
At Ghost Longboard.
Yep.
And you can completely customize them. I have a few now. I have a few now, and I'm so excited. I just got my Make It podcast board, which you'll hear at some point in this, maybe in the beginning, maybe the end of me getting the reveal on that. It's insane. You can completely customize them. And what we had dived into last time, kind of where we left off, is you were talking a little bit about company culture.
Yeah.
You just had your viral TikTok moment. And I wanted to ask a couple things. So I'm excited to catch up on this. Hang on, let me just bring my notes.
I think where we left off is there was a guy named Alan Wong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Alan, this is, to me, Alan is kind of like one of the heroes in the story because
he's a coach.
He told you to turn the website back on after you shut it off.
Yeah.
This
was right after Brent, my partner's like, Russ, we cannot do this.
Yeah. It's too many boards.
Yeah, there's too many orders. I can't do it. We need to shut the website off.
Which people, probably when you tell this story, people are probably like, oh, what a good problem to have.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But in the moment, it's kind of scary.
It is really scary because I just collected everybody's money.
Yeah, you have it all.
And I'm sitting on their money, and they could look at me as I'm a fraud. I'm not going to deliver.
Yeah,
and I'm a scammer, and all those things is my integrity. I'm thinking, truthful, I was so excited with my phone just going crazy, and I had the little noise on my phone on the app is like bing, bing, bing. I'm like, money, money, money.
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs.
So,
money, money, money.
Yes. So background on this too. So like, just quick background for those just joining. His phone blows up. He realizes that someone had posted on TikTok. He was doing about 10 orders a day before that, and then it was 600. Yep. And then it was 600, and then you're like, shut down the website.
Yeah. We had like, a couple thousand, we had like, 1,500 orders, I think, in like a 2-day period. And we're like, what do we do?
So you and Brent finally decide you're going to go for it. Then,
So I shut the website off completely, for about 3 days.
Okay.
And during that period, people are still sneaking in buying orders. I was like, oh, I forgot to delete that one. Yeah. Or I forgot to turn that one off of nothing in stock. So I was trying to take everything off, nothing in stock.
And Alan tells you to turn it back on because of, he's just like, Russ, turn it back on.
Yeah, so Alan is this guy that I was buying wheels and trucks from for the boards out of California. And I call him, I say, Alan, I have a problem. I need wheels and trucks.
Lots of them.
I go, how many do you have? He goes, well, I think I can get you this many. And I go, okay, I have a check here for you. I have my nephew here. He'll be down tomorrow. This is like a 12-hour drive.
Right.
So I tell my nephew, he doesn't have a job, just got married. And he's like, hey, do you have a job for me? I go, I do, in fact. I go, if you can drive down to California and be back in 24 hours, I'll give you $500.
Yes. Okay.
And I'll pay for all your gas and everything. Is like, okay, I'll do it. I mean, he needed money. And so he jumps in his pickup truck, cruises down to go see this distributor, Alan. Yeah. And I said, fill up the truck, whatever you can fit in it, strap everything down.
How many did he fit in? Approximately, do you remember?
I think there was, I bet there was enough to build maybe 2,500 boards.
Oh, okay, good. So you had like enough to cover
Yeah.
what you did. So Alan, you had a relationship with Alan before. You were ordering a little bit from him.
I was ordering.
But
again,
was he like a mentor at that point? Or like was this the moment that
No, he was just like, what do you guys do? You know, kind of like, I'm just a little side thing of buying a few wheels and trucks here and there, having like, you know, I'll be like a big guy, like, hey, I'll take 20.
Yeah. 20 this time, Alan.
20 this time. It's more than last time. I'm doubling, man. I'm big time.
We're growing.
I am big time. You give me the best deal.
Yes. So then he's like, so then you tell him, okay, I'm going to send a check for this much. I want everything you have, basically. And then is that the moment where he's like, turn your website back on. I'll help you find parts.
So I told him the story. He's like, what is going on? Because you've only ordered like 20 from me. Yeah. I go, well, I just blew up on social media and people won't stop ordering. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And I go, do you know anywhere else I can buy wheels and trucks? He's like, yeah, let me tell you a few other places. And I go, I don't know what to do. I just shut off the website because I can't take any more orders. And he goes, that's the wrong plan. He goes, people are dying for your board right now. They have their money in their pocket. They're going to go give it to somebody. Yep. This is COVID just starting. Yes. And he's like,
they need this.
Yeah, they need this.
People needed this.
Yeah, he goes, if you don't take their money, they're going to go buy another skateboard somewhere else. They're going to buy a bike. They're going to buy something. True. Yeah, and he goes, they are dying to get outside. It's winter's over. Yep. Summer just started. He goes, they need something. And he goes, you take their money or somebody else gets it. Yeah. He goes, turn it on and take their money.
Good. So did you change your lead time? Were you like, did you change your lead time expectation like when they order?
Yes.
Like,
so I went right on the website and I try to keep it updated. I go, okay, orders from 3,000 to 4,000 were at this time. And I started telling people, I think in the beginning were 2 weeks. And I told people we're 30 days. And I put right on the top of the website, we're 45 days out on orders. Yeah. And as I had, because my phone and emails would not stop.
Yeah. When am I going to get it?
Yeah. When's my board coming? I ordered yesterday. I'm like, sorry, my website says I can refund you, you know, if you can't wait the 30 to 45 days. Yeah. And because I put that big and bold on the website. And
were you updating on it? Because it sounds like you were doing a great job communicating the best you can, which I think in this moment is so important. Like people just need to know.
Communication. Yeah.
People just need to know. So were you also on Graham being like, listen,
this
just happened.
It was Instagram. I was trying to do lives almost every night. Yeah. Like people, I was showing them my garage. I was like, guys, look at my garage. Look at my house. Yeah. We are working as fast as we can to get your order through. I go, and I tell people, hey, I'm on orders 3,000 right now. So if your order number is in the 3,000s, we hope to get it out, this week. Then I'd be like, hey, now we're on 4,000s. Yeah. And so I was trying to keep people updated all the time. Yeah. But still, it wasn't enough.
How long did it take you to get caught up and get them to where like your time frame, like your ideal shipping time frame is? Or are you still working on it?
So it was interesting. We finally, about September, I was down to maybe 3 weeks.
Because it happened in May. Bio Moment happened in May. Now you're in September.
Okay. Yeah. In September, I was down to about 3 weeks. Right when we were starting to feel like we got this. Oh, Christmas. We were cranking at that point 250 to our max 400 boards a day. Okay. I had a crew start at 6 a.m. I had them in the mornings, afternoons, clear until 2 a.m. Yeah. We were running crews. Yeah. And we had like 50 kids just rotating them in and out, just working on them. Right after September, we started to get caught up. We had to start preparing for Black Friday.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, and Black Friday really starts, you have to start prepping about October. Yeah. Because October, we had to start prepping as fast as we could. We had to first get all the orders done, caught up, and then all of a sudden we put out Black Friday. We started telling people, if you want a board for Christmas, you have to order by November 1st. Right. or you're not going to get it for Christmas.
Right.
So we even started putting our deadline, our cutoff date of November 1st for Christmas. And then what happens with that is people don't really care. There's, you know, this is when we're getting all the orders from all the grandmas. The grandmas listen.
Oh.
The grandmas are really good at ordering beforehand, and the moms. So moms and grandmas were calling us in late September to October.
Yeah.
You know, and make sure their order was in. And but the dads are not so good.
Yeah.
You know, the dads are like, oh, is it December 20th? I need.
The dads and me, I am with the dads. I wait till the last minute, procrastinate.
Yeah, and my heart really, you know, it was so hard during this time because I mean, you're getting these emails of, this is the only thing they want for Christmas.
Oh, shoot.
Please don't let me down. Please, Santa cannot fail. Yeah, and you're like, oh my gosh. And yeah, they pull every heartstring you possibly get.
Oh, man.
So when we went into November, I switched services on shipping to everything to be second day air. Okay. And I had to because I still was out like 2-3 weeks to make it. So as soon as I got it, I was shipping everything. I didn't care if it cost me double. I just had to make sure I made Christmas. Wow. And then because you can't trust the shipping companies during that period either, because they hire extra trucks and extra people, and sometimes they're delayed with snow or whatever. And so I moved everything to second day air, clear up until like December 22nd. Yeah. I mean, we were shipping everything out we possibly could every single day. I was working everybody as many hours as they could just to try to build.
I think that says so much. Like, we touched a little bit on your core values in the last one, but it says so much about you and your company that you do that, because that's not a cheap change to go to second day air.
Yeah, especially a 12-pound box.
And you didn't forward that onto the customer.
No.
Okay, I'm like getting chills.
Yeah, we were eating this cost because I felt obligated.
Yeah.
You know, these people need their Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I was like, oh, we got to get this board to this kid.
How do you, so you touched on your core values, some of your core values last time. Can you reiterate some of those things that are important to you as a company that you guys kind of like live by? And do you actually have them written down somewhere?
No, we need to. You know, I think that's something we need to post in our building.
Well, you mentioned like giving back.
Yeah. So the first one is for our employees, that we wanted them to have a healthy, safe place to work.
Okay.
And somewhere they could be mentored and taught, even if they have a hardship in their life. Yeah. Or home life is not great, or even if they're struggling with anxiety or depression, they can come work at Ghost and feel safe.
Yes.
That was number one, is they enjoy it. They'd rather be at work than at home just on video games. So that was one thing, is we wanted to have fun, treat them like people, and make sure they have opinions, and make sure they're heard, and make sure that we treat them really, really well. That was number one.
I want everyone to notice the number one, because it is not extremely common, I think, to find a company that will say something about employees first is an important thing.
Yeah.
And that's something that says so much about you and Brent and the way you've structured a company, and probably a lot of your success has been derived from that, because you're taking care of your team first. I had someone ask me the other day, like, what are like the top 3 things you focus on or whatever? And Ethan and I have always said employee satisfaction first. Like, they can't always get what they want, like schedules, but we can provide a safe environment. We can make it fun. We can make sure they're taken care of. I just think that's so huge. So I knew that was probably going to be close to your number one, but I just want people to know how huge of a deal that is, and it says so much about your company. Okay, so
it is, because if you treat all of them really well, they're going to treat the customer really well.
It translates
and I would tell people all the time, the number one thing for me is when a customer gets their board and they open it up and it's wiped down, it's clean, everything works, it's ready to ride, that they're like, wow, I'm so glad I just spent $200 on this board. Like, that they're super excited for it and super happy about it. And I said, I want everybody to be wowed when they open up their board.
Yeah.
And that was important. So number 2, you know, for us was, how do we give back? You know, how do we make sure that we're creating a product that gets people in this world off of their phones, gets them outside, And I always tease it, tell people the graphics outside are better.
Yes.
Than on their phone.
Yeah.
And something that we can feel good that we created a product that we're proud of and they can really like. And with that is we started giving $1 a board that we built to a charity.
Okay.
So we wanted to do, so we did first Make-A-Wish Foundation. There was
amazing.
A young girl that had cancer, and so we raised money for her in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The second one we did was Underground Railroad. A lot of people don't know what that is. It's to help stop sex slavery, and trafficking around the world. And so we're always looking for, how do you do good in this world, and how do you create something that you're proud of, and keep your employees really, really happy. But I like what you said. Employees happy doesn't mean paying them, wages that
will put you out of business.
Yeah,
and that's hard too, because you want to.
Yeah,
like you want to. You want to pay them so much because they're working so hard, and I do too. And so it's like it's that balance of, okay, like what does a business need, but then what are other ways I can listen to them and make them happy? Because I've also learned I've paid people a lot before in desperate times, and they still bounce.
Yep.
Because either they weren't bought in enough or something, or I didn't realize it wasn't going to be a good fit. With company culture, it's so important. And it sounds like you kind of had a vision for what you wanted your company to look like from the beginning. You wanted to know what it felt like, how you wanted it to be. How do you translate that to your employees regularly? How do you get them bought in on that vision? And do you talk to them about it regularly? Yeah,
a lot of things is when you're a warehouse. Most of our kids that work for us, probably like you, are high school, some college kids. Yeah. And we want them to have a good experience while they're going through high school and college. We know that 99% of them are not going to be here long term.
Right.
But we want them to have this great thing. They look back, hey, when I was in high school, I worked with this really cool company. And they can tell their kids, or they can tell stories. So we know we're going to have turnover. At the same time, can we have that experience with them? They can tell stories. So we do have a lot of fun. We'll shoot some YouTube videos and then mess around the warehouse, writing boards, and buying them pizza on Fridays, or kind of just having fun with them.
Are you talking to them about your vision though, about quality, about making sure the customer's happy? Are you talking to them about that pretty regularly?
Oh yeah. We sit down and talk all the time, guys. It's so important that when they open up this board. And we sit down with them all the time about them personally. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's huge.
Are you happy?
One-on-ones are huge.
Yeah, we do a lot of one-on-ones just to get to know them.
The times when my business has slipped the most away from the culture that I want is when I have not done enough one-on-ones or been in shop enough. Because I've had 2 for so long that I had to split my time. But that's so important. The one-on-ones with your team are so important. I have something that I want to share with you that was so cool that happened to me yesterday. I'm going to try to keep it together for this. Because you were talking about, people are only here for a certain period of time, but you want to make that time memorable for them if they're working there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I had a team member post on her stories yesterday. She was the second hire at Dottie's.
Okay.
And it was I don't know if you've had this, Russ. I'm sure you have, where you just need a little win.
Yes.
You just need something, and then something random happens, and you're like, that was the win I needed. Thank you. I can keep going. This was my win yesterday, and I'm just going to share this because I have no doubt that you're going to have many of these experiences. She posted on her story yesterday. She was my second hire 8 years ago.
Okay.
So I posted a picture of Dottie's kind of old school pictures, and she said, Sierra McCleve just posted these throwbacks, and I can't believe it's been 8 years. Dottie's was one of my first real jobs, and I could never explain how grateful or how lucky I am to have Sierra as my first boss. Incredible.
That's awesome.
She said, when I started working at Dottie's, it was literally just Sierra, me, and one other employee. Sierra always pushed me to be better, taught me, and showed me how to do everything with so much patience and positivity. Even when I messed up, she showed up with a solution and a better way to do it the next time. Working for Sierra was one of the best experiences despite going through one of the hardest times of my life. Sierra was always there helping me through it and providing a safe place for me to escape and be a part of something. She goes on. I'm not going to go on because
that's actually it right there.
That's the whole, I don't think people realize, I don't even think my team realizes how much value I get out of that, of having the experience of working with them, and not necessarily it being something where they're going to give me praise later, but just watching them grow and teaching them. And I just love that you said you want to provide a safe space for your team, and that you mentioned that first, because this is the gift that keeps on giving. Like, because you see them, you hope that they evolve. You watch them go do other things. You watch them either grow and part of your company. And it's just so important. I'm so glad that I could tell from the first time I walked in your warehouse that you take care of your employees.
Well, that was something that I'm still trying to feel like I want to give back. My first experience, I worked in a warehouse when I was 16.
Oh, okay.
And I come from the house that had a single mother working 2 jobs, and she was gone at 6 a.m., came home at 11 p.m., and I never saw her.
Yeah.
And it was survival. I worked 2 jobs, my whole life. It was survival. And my boss treated me like gold there in the warehouse.
How old were you?
I was 16.
Oh, 16, okay.
Yeah. I was there, and he'd always treat me so well. He treated me like an adult. And I was, like their 6th employee, and now they're a giant company. But I look back at what he did for me. Yeah. I've always taken care of me. Yeah. I always made sure I had something. And it wasn't, the $4.50 an hour I was making. Yeah. It was, he treated me so well, and he cared about me.
You probably wanted to do everything you could to make him proud. Too. Oh, yeah. You probably did a really good job because of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've always wanted to give that back. I always thought, man, because of him, I feel like I turned out to who I am. And I learned so much from the way he ran his company and treated people. I want to do the same. Yeah.
I think that's just a lesson for people who are like thinking about starting a business or have one. If you really aren't focusing on your employees, they spend so much time there. Yeah. They are giving you so much of their time in their life. Even if it's for a short period of time, a good part of their day is spent on your business. So you have, if you want your business to hit I'm stumbling here. We'll have to edit it.
But it's not a democracy. People have to remember that. Yeah. And, employees, I love their feedback. But at the end of the day, as an owner, you still have to, it's still your company. Yeah. And you still have to make the decisions, and sometimes the hard ones. And you always still have to remember that. There is still that separation of employee, of are they running the company or you running the company. And
I think if you over communicate, like I ask my team for opinions all the time because they're dealing with the customers more than me. Yeah. But then I have to maybe make the big picture decision. They might not like it, but I think it goes over better if I over communicate why. Yeah. This is why, not just make the decision and then that's it. Yep. So I think over communication is important too. I wanted to talk about, you talked about how you didn't want to become a fidget spinner. And you're not. You're definitely not. So you were talking about how you were constantly evolving, coming up with new designs, coming up with new board ideas,
in companies. Right? So in college, I remember I went and did a paper on Franklin planners. Everybody in the 90s had a Franklin
Covey, yep.
Yeah, and I went and met with them. It was one of their VPs, and I go, what are you going to do with technology? And this is right when you're starting to hear about technology. Ooh. And they said, well, everybody's always going to use paper.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and I was like, so I wrote the paper, and I disagreed with them. I go, if you're not continuing moving with technology, eventually is paper going to be obsolete? And this was early night, and I had like 3 Franklin planners at the time. And I kept thinking, it was right when cell phones started to come about and computers. I remember I was taking a computer class, and like they're teaching you, this is the internet. Yeah. Like, okay, I don't know what it is, but whatever. Yeah. And now you don't see Franklin planner. You don't see people. And I think all businesses have to evolve. There's old Notre Dame coach Lou Holtz. He always says, you're growing or you're dying. Right. That there you cannot just stay. And as a company, you have to think, okay, skateboards may not go away, bicycles may not go away, drinks may not go away, but you have to evolve on how you do your business, how you're marketing, and how you stay ahead of your competitors. Because, anyone could go make a drink. Yeah. Anyone could go make a skateboard.
Absolutely.
So how do you separate yourself from the competition? Yeah. And I bring up the fidget spinner because the fidget spinner is the most recent thing that went viral. Yeah. And then disappeared.
It's a flash.
Yeah. It came out and then it went away so fast. I go, okay. And so I always have that in my head. I don't want to become a fidget spinner. So how do I continue evolving the board, make sure it's a quality, a thing that somebody wants to use all the time, and continue using?
How do you do that to stay ahead? What are you looking at? Like, what are you looking at trends or what ideas? Like, how are you brainstorming that to try to keep your edge? What are like tactically, what are you doing?
Yeah. So a lot of it is watching what the kids like. You know, we've moved into electrics because you're seeing everybody ride electric bikes to electric skateboards. I was
going to ask you about that. I heard you mention it several weeks ago.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I could bring it up.
Yes. We've rolled out electrics and they're there. We've rolled out. We've looked at
like you have an electric board right now.
Yeah.
For sale.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, electric ghost board. You heard it here. Probably not. Maybe not first, but recent.
Yeah. And we're always looking at what things do they want, styles of boards. You know, if you look at a traditional longboard, most of the time they all look the same, and you know, and so styles and shapes, and so as you watch trends, so we've moved from into a dancer. We've been selling a ton of these dancers. You know, people want to dance on them. That may be popular now, but it may not be popular next.
Are they a longer, wider board? Longer board?
Yeah, longer, wider board.
Okay.
And then like the 70s, there's the penny boards. You know, and then there was the boards for downhill racers, and there's boards for tricks, and there's all sorts, and you just have to kind of say, what do you want, and design-wise. It's interesting, like, for example, we're always looking at what are trends, and we really look at what are tattoo trends. And that's where you can find a lot of our ideas is, oh, look, a lot of girls have butterflies. So we rolled out a butterfly, and that became our #1 seller. As we look at skulls, we look at, tribal things, and you start looking around, because if you don't change, and stay up, they're going to find someone else that has that.
Do you keep like a certain number of base designs on your site, and then do you add new ones just for a limited time, or how do you do that? How do you manage it?
So right now, that's something we are going through. So right now we have them. We have all the designs on our website. Which may be too many, and we keep trying to decide. And what happens is, all of a sudden, someone will go find an old Instagram and say, oh my gosh, hey, I saw this design. And then they'd have to call me to order a custom. Like, oh, if I just leave it on there, they can just find it. But I do always put the top 10 up top and say, here's the top 10 sellers.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
So they're easy to find those, but they still can search any of them that they want.
Oh, I love that. That's nice. Now, before you were just about ready to open your brick and mortar. That's one way that you're trying to stay ahead, and it's open now.
Yes.
Can you give us an update on how it's going, like what you've learned? It's been like how many weeks?
It's been about, I think we're going on our 3rd week.
Okay, 3rd week open, brick and mortar location, and it's in Lehigh.
Yep, at the Traverse Mountain outlets.
Lehigh, Utah outlets. Okay, so how's it been going, and what have you learned in the 3 weeks of having a brick and mortar? Because you've been online.
Yeah. So some of our business model is diversification. How do you diversify? And for us, it was, we have online. We go after B2B. We work with a lot of companies such as Thirst. That's one of our huge segments. Right now we're always talking to companies of making boards for their companies. Number 3 was brick and mortar. We had to think about. And number 4 is wholesale. And wholesale, we're growing about every week with that too. So we just added like Ron John Surf Shop and Triple X Surf Shop, and we're rolling out Saks Fifth Avenue.
Really?
Yeah. Now, only thing I know about them, sorry, Saks, is you make clothing and handbags and like a women's type store. And they approached me of selling our longboard. So we're rolling out.
This is incredible.
Yeah, rolling out 10 boards for them.
Okay.
But I think that's awesome that we're diversifying into different avenues. So
Absolutely.
The 3rd one, is the brick and mortar.
Yes.
So brick and mortar, we rolled out the outlets. We've done a soft open. We don't even have a sign up yet. We're working on that. And it's going really well. So, I mean, what I've learned from it is, first, we had to learn staffing, like how many people do you need here? And so I kind of worked up there myself, trying to figure it out. And I've learned Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are slow.
Okay.
at shopping. So I've got one person that works from 10 to 3, and another person comes in from 3 to 8.
Yeah.
And I only need kind of one person there.
Yeah.
The first of the week.
Staffing
so
is tricky. That's one that we have to, especially early on, had to really watch. Like you watch it every hour, every 2 hours.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Good. Thank you so much.
All right. Now hopefully we're back on here.
Thank you, man. Ethan came in as a hero to save our technology on the camera. So thank you, Ethan. The podcast is still rolling. So
okay.
So you learned staffing.
So and we're still learning. You know, as the summer months go and we go into winter or Black Friday or Christmas, you know, we have to figure out how many people we have there. And so right now I started out with Monday through Thursday, a little bit lighter staff, and then or Thursday evenings to Friday to Saturday, you know, to double up.
Picking up.
Yeah. And start looking at that. And still trying to figure out how many staff do you have there, because that is a cost, you know, of having employees sit there if there's nothing for them to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to figure out what other things can they do.
Yep.
If people aren't
shopping.
To
maximize their time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can only clean it so many
so
times.
Tricky. Yep.
And so I've started looking at, okay, maybe they can start sending out Google reviews, you know, while they're there. So I put a laptop up there. I'm just teaching them to everybody that buys a board. We send a text message to give us a Google review, and I go, this person, you know, can start working on some of that stuff. And so I'm trying to get them to multitask and do, you know, a few other things versus have them bored, you know, or.
I have an idea for you.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so this was Ethan's idea, and this is what he mentioned. We were having a conversation earlier before the cameras were rolling, or at least before the podcast was rolling, and you asked like where most of our marketing dollars are going, and he said it's actually to our own team to get people in, because what we do is we have several team members, and it's their only job to search local hashtags and DM people directly and just say, hey, this is Rachel from Thirst. I just want to invite you in for, I said that you're in the area. I like this on your feed, so make it personal. I'm going to invite you in for a free 44-ounce drink and a free beignet. Come in anytime. Yeah. What you could do is if they're just sitting there, just lay it out exactly, give them access to your DMs. Yep. Tell them to search whatever area you want them to search and start manually inviting people. Something like that. That could be something that works. But I know what you mean. Like at Dottie's, I have, you know, someone who's doing food prep, but maybe they could also be doing something else. And you have to maximize the labor within reason. You do. And let them keep their sanity. But if they're standing around, I can't tell you the anxiety. If your team's standing around, and you know you're paying them certain, you like, how can I maximize
justify
this?
That?
But I'm glad that you're thinking about that. I'm so excited. I'm going to come down and check that one out. Your brick and mortar. People probably don't realize too, like, well, you're already doing so well. You went viral on TikTok. Why do you need different revenue streams? I have my theory on why we want different revenue streams, but why is it important as a business to have different revenue streams?
So what we learned, even having the brick and mortar, it becomes part of marketing. We've noticed that 50% of the people that have walked in so far have never heard of us. And that opens up like, oh my gosh. And another part is if there's people that have seen us online, they've never been able to go touch one.
Yes.
And we've noticed when they come in and they go touch it and they feel it, spin the wheels and like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. And then people get excited. And we've tried to make it really fun. We've got a really easy layout in there. It's not overly crowded. I don't like the stores you walk in and you feel like I got to get out because I'm claustrophobic. Yeah. So it flows really easy, super open. And we give free stickers to everybody that walks in. And they're like, you're giving us something free, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you know, go put a sticker, you know, on your car, your mug, or, you know, whatever. Absolutely. And check out our website. And so we're very open. Yeah, ride one in the store, try it, stand on it, get a free sticker. Just to have fun there.
It's giving you access to more information about the customer experience, right? Because like you can see what their reaction is. What are they liking?
What questions are asking?
You're helping get more exposure that way. One reason that we wanted to diversify our revenue, like we told you with COVID, we lost all of our catering revenue, which was actually funding Mill Creek. So it got really scary for a minute. And Vivint went away. Yeah. So those are two very similar things that we never anticipated a pandemic, but luckily those weren't our only business revenue streams. We had the brick and mortars. We had University of Utah to like continue to run. So that's why you want different revenue streams within your business.
Have you thought about going more online? like with the delivery. And
yeah, so that's kind of what we're trying to do. Ethan's working on that with Underground, is like it's online ordering only, delivery or pickup only from like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. So that diversifies, and that also helps us bump that time frame. And it's only online. So we just have people in the shop making it. Yeah. It's still kind of its own beast. It's very different. Yeah. But yeah, and we've thought about how could we do online ordering and do like ship our pretzels. Yeah. Oh places. Yeah. How could we ship take and bake beignets or take and bake cinnamon rolls or something like I've thought about that for Dottie's, but it's so important to diversify your revenue streams, I think. Last couple questions, Russ, and then we will get on our way. And then, I mean, we can talk about anything you want to talk about too. But I guess it's been so fun to watch your journey. I wanted to share a little bit about, I intended to last time, about how I watched what happened with you. I haven't shared that on the podcast yet, but I found you guys just kind of like randomly via hashtag before the TikTok moment. I knew you were local, and I was like, man, these boards look so cool. And I like following local business and interacting. It's just fun anyway. And then as part of me and Ethan's strategy is like, why don't you interact with the people around you? Sure. So I watched you on Instagram, and then all of a sudden I see this Ghost Longboard unboxing on my TikTok. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing stuff on TikTok. I'm so excited. So I messaged Russ. I didn't know him. I messaged him. I was like, hey, like, you don't know me. You just popped up on my For You page on TikTok, and I'm just so proud of you. Like, I'm so excited that you're like on TikTok and that you're doing it and you're local. I was so rad. And he wrote me back. He's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And we became like Instagram friends. And then I watched you go from like 4,000 followers to like 50,000 to now you're at like what, 257. Yeah. Like so many. So that's been like so fun from my perspective to watch like that happen. And now to know the story about what was going on behind the scenes is so, so cool. I wanted to ask you, as we close up, 2 questions. First off, what is on the horizon? Like, what are some things that you're looking at, if you can share it, or because I know that you're always looking ahead, or what are some things that you're looking forward to in the next coming months and years? Yeah, so planning is a big part. You know, like I said, if I don't want to become the fidget spinner or the Franklin planner, always planning ahead. And always thinking, what's the next thing? And some of the things that we're working on is our first big one of a release is an updated version 2 of the LED board. So I'm getting rid of the box in the back, and it's going under, it's going to be a rechargeable under the truck. That's number 1. So that's going to be clean. So the version 2 will be a lot cleaner, a lot better. That's awesome. The other things we're working on is looking at making a balance board. So even for fitness, so you know just something you can play around with. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a balance board and let people play around with one of those. What I like that you're doing is a lot of people would have your viral moment on TikTok. They would think that they've made it, and then they would be done. They would just be so focused. They just stop. They're just like, I'm just going to keep doing this because this is working. But that will not always work. Yeah. And you're thinking about balance boards. I've heard you mention other boards. Resin boards. So we're rolling out more resin boards, playing around with those. I do a lot of collaboration with artists that paint on our boards and do things. I'm looking at one of my future goals is make a liquid ghost. You know, think of like a phone case that has all the liquid inside of it, or like a lava lamp. Yes. Like liquid inside of the board. Oh, of course. So I think that would look really cool. Some LEDs and that. I really want to make a clear wake surfboard, which I'm working on, and then maybe make a snowboard. You know, and so we actually just went through this change the last couple of months. We've changed our name. We went from Ghost Longboard to Ghost Boards. Okay. And the reason for that is so we can do all things boards. And so we've just gone through even changing our logo to change a few things. Right. I've gone through this now. Who are we? You know, what do we want to be? We did the shotgun approach, and now we're kind of focusing on, okay, let's make it who we are and build a brand that's worldwide. You know, my ultimate goal is to make 10,000 boards a month, and everybody knows who we are, from Australia to Japan to India. You know, we've sent boards. Like you said to me earlier, you're walking around the jazz arena and you see people with the orange straw. Yeah. And I've got to experience that. One time I was in Hawaii and someone recognized me. Oh my God. You know, or somebody asked me to sign their board. I'm thinking, what? You know, little things like that where they recognize who you are. Or recognize the name, you're like, oh my gosh, there's somebody riding our board in India and Turkey and Australia and Brazil, and
You know, and that's exciting. It's like, oh my gosh, I made a product that people are enjoying it.
Yes.
And they love it. And they're writing
worldwide.
Worldwide. And you look around like, wow.
Yeah.
It's just this weird thing I still haven't put my arms around. And
you can't.
And I don't want to let it go because it's such a neat idea and thought.
Oh, it's such a special moment and like something so unique that not many people experience. And I love that you're doing it from a place of passion and compassion, and you have a mission and vision that you want to get people out. And I love that you're adapting so well to it, and you're rebranding to kind of be able to become this bigger thing.
Yeah.
I've had to do that on a small scale with one of my businesses, but that's so fun. I'm so excited to watch what happens. My last question that I had to ask, because I thought about it last night, is knowing what you know now. So if you have all the knowledge that you have now, but you don't have your viral TikTok moment.
Okay.
But you know about TikTok. Yeah. And you know about all the things. So you have all your knowledge. But let's say you're just starting out, or you decide to start a shirt company, or you're just starting out with Ghostboard, or reverse. It's before
even starting a new company today.
What would you do? Actually, let me back it up. Let me change it. We'll edit this. So having your knowledge that you have now, but you don't have your viral moment. So maybe it's April last year.
Okay.
But you have your knowledge and you know what's possible. What would you do with your marketing to try to really put fuel on the fire and bump from 10 boards a day to more?
I think a lot of people are afraid of marketing.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm more of a marketing guy first.
Okay.
That's what I love. It's kind of a game for me. I wish I could have gone back and prepped and gone for it even bigger.
Uh-huh.
And even if we didn't have a viral moment, I was afraid to jump into TikTok, Snapchat, Likey. There's so many opportunities online to start. If I was going to tell anyone, you're starting a company today, don't go cheap. Invest everything into your marketing.
Yep.
Because it will pay off.
Yep.
You know, I even my Google, I was so afraid. I was doing $300 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh no, I don't want to spend this.
It's hard when you're new and you don't have it maybe.
Yeah,
or you're reinvesting every single penny.
You're like, do I put that on my credit card?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And the way of marketing today is social media.
Yep.
And I wish someone would have said, don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of social media. Now be smart with it.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid of it. And even today, I'm learning. I'm tweaking my Google right now. I'm tweaking my Snapchat. I'm tweaking my TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
And, I keep trying to remind myself even today, don't be afraid of it.
Absolutely.
And look at your ROI, look at your return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
And marketing is there's an old story. I heard this guy, he had a hot dog stand and he was doing really well selling hot dogs.
Uh-huh.
And his son came home from college and said, hey, Dad, did you hear about the crisis going on in the economy and things are really rough and tough and you ought to cut off some of your marketing? And so the dad, he goes, oh, well, my son must be smart. He went to college, and so he turned off some of his marketing and sales dropped. And he goes, man, my son was brilliant. And his son's like, oh yeah, the market's terrible and it's still crashing, Dad, and so he turned off all of his marketing and his business shut down. He goes, oh, I'm glad I listened to my son.
Oh, jeez.
He was smart.
Yeah.
And knew that I shouldn't be spending money on marketing. And look, the business closed down.
Yeah, right. Right. I learned that one of my first kind of steps into entrepreneurship was I started cleaning carpets with a friend. He had a business. He was a family friend. He had a business, but he was kind of too busy. It was kind of like his side hustle, but he did it. And he just needed someone to go clean carpets. So I was cleaning carpets out of his van. And I learned in that moment, when you don't market, you don't get jobs and then you don't get money, because I wasn't marketing.
Yeah. Yep.
And I wasn't encouraging him to market it either. But it's so important. And I think if you're starting out a business, just like Russ said, if you've never used Snapchat, if you've never used TikTok, but your demographic is on those platforms, go learn it. Go dive into it, get exposure into it, and then start messing around. Just start doing things.
And you don't need to be crazy. I look at, you're not Coca-Cola or McDonald's. Yeah. You don't need to go spend branding money.
Yeah.
And just so people know who you are. And don't go pay some actor $20,000 for one post, hoping you go crazy.
No.
Yeah, be smart with your marketing money and maximize it.
Yeah. And if you're not super sure, bring a professional in. That is worth the investment too.
Oh, yeah.
Bring a professional in who can tell you where to put those Google ads, who can give you some direction, and then you go execute. Those are dollars well spent because you're getting education too.
Yeah, I don't know Google that well, and I do. I pay a company, and they run all my ads, and they give me reports and how things are doing, and it is so worth investment for them to run it for me. And I still get to control how much I spend, but I have to pay them a management fee, and it's so worth it for me.
Yeah. Well, I love it. That's great advice. Make sure you are investing in your marketing 100%. We're going to close this up today. Russ, thank you so much again for hanging out.
Thank you.
We're going to go. I want to go grab a scotcheroo. I don't know about you. I'm going to get a scotcheroo and maybe refill our drinks. You guys, thanks for listening. If you want to listen to part 1, check it out. Make a Dent podcast on any of the platforms. Russ Warner with Ghost Boards. Did you change your Instagram yet?
I haven't yet.
Okay, so it's still
just Ghost Longboard.
At Ghost Longboards.
Yep.
Check out their website. Check out my Instagram, or there's to check out this custom Make a Dent podcast board. I'm so excited. Russ, thanks for being on the show again.
Yeah, thank you.